There was a moment when I realized I wasn't actually happy. I was just functional, not sad, not in crisis, just emotionally unavailable to myself. The scary part? Everything around me looked good, but I felt nothing in it. No joy, no ease, just endurance dressed up as making it happen. And I remember folding towels and thinking, I've built a life that runs like clockwork, but it doesn't include me. So I stopped. Not everything, just the pretending. And I started again with intention this time. This is how I got my happiness back, by slowly trading the habits that numbed me for the activities that reconnected me. Not all at once, but intentionally. Over the next few moments, I'll walk you through the quiet shifts, the mindset pivots, and the sophisticated empowerment tools that made joy feel accessible again. There's a specific kind of fatigue that comes from being hyper-capable. The kind where you look accomplished from the outside, but internally, you're piecing yourself together between tasks. In a previous video, I said, we were handed a blueprint for performance, but not one for restoration. And I stand by that. So much of getting my happiness back was unlearning the idea that being okay meant being productive, because high functioning doesn't equal healthy. And burnout in a blazer is still burnout. And here's the part we don't say out loud. Sometimes that burnout looks like you're emotionally stuck, like showing up everywhere but feeling present nowhere. What does burnout look like for you? Welcome to her soft power blueprint, where emotionally intelligent women stop performing and start protecting their emotions. We design emotional clarity, curate self-awareness, and apply the kind of emotional empowerment that doesn't need an audience. Let's make something clear. This isn't about chasing euphoric highs or making your life Pinterest worthy. This is about getting back to yourself, to the sound of your laughter, to your sense of rhythm, to your right to feel good without apology. You don't need a new aesthetic. You need a safe emotional garden, one where you can be honest about your needs without performance, where your emotions are prioritized, and where your presence is welcomed without explanation. And rebuilding that starts with telling the truth about where you lost the joy. There's a reason why I lost my joy. Joy doesn't vanish in one moment. It seeps away slowly, strategically. I lost it by saying yes when my body and emotions said no, by being agreeable when I was actually resentful, by calling myself low maintenance when I was really emotionally starved. I became an excellent manager of everyone else's needs, but no one was managing mine. Here's the truth: sophisticate. A life that looks good but feels empty is still empty. And when your calendar is full, but your emotions are not, joy becomes something you remember, not something you live. We must ignore the lie of constant strain. We're praised for how much we can carry. We're taught that exhaustion is excellence. We're told that silence is maturity. But strength isn't silence. It's discernment. It's knowing when to be still and when to say, this is not working for me. I believed that rest was optional until my body stopped cooperating. I believed peace was a reward until I learned I could design it. Your emotional health can't be a side hustle, and you can't be available for your joy while living in a cycle of emotional debt. There are 5 actions that helped me return to myself. 1. I stopped negotiating with guilt. Guilt told me I was selfish for prioritizing myself. But I had to ask, who taught me that? The more I examined it, the more I realized that guilt was inherited, learned, reinforced, but not earned. Now, when I feel it rise up, I ask, am I really wrong or just unfamiliar with choosing myself? 2. I got quiet on purpose. Noise was my buffer from what I was really feeling. Podcasts, notifications, people. Stillness made me feel anxious. Why? Because I might hear what I'd been ignoring. But I committed to 5 minutes. No tasks, no noise, just quiet. And in the quiet, I found the emotional planner in me again, the woman who makes decisions with intention. 3. Here's how I romanticized my routine. Not for aesthetics, but for ownership. I turned my bedtime into a routine, not just collapse after dinner. I styled my lunch, even if no one would see it. This wasn't performative, it was intimate. It told my emotions, this is a good place. 4. I protected my emotions like a full-time job. Peace doesn't show up by accident. It's curated. I began blocking off time, not just for tasks, but for prayer, exercise, and silence. I stopped explaining boundaries to people who benefited from my burnout. Protecting your emotions isn't rude, it's responsible. 5. I developed the Empowerment Sophistication Map. I didn't need another list of goals. I needed a way to listen to my emotional patterns. Every week, I used the map to ask, where did I betray myself this week? What would joy look like tomorrow? How can I support the woman I'm becoming? The map gave me language. Language gave me access. And access gave me options. 4. I found the joy of rediscovery. Joy showed up in whispers. A deep exhale. A playlist that made me move. A prayer that landed right in the center of my chest. Joy didn't announce itself. It revealed itself. Once I stopped apologizing for needing it. You don't chase joy. You clear space for it. Nehemiah 8:10 says, "For the joy of the Lord is your strength." Joy is not indulgence. It's evidence that your spirit has room to breathe. And in this world, creating that room is mandatory. All right, sophisticate, tell me. What's one quiet thing you've reclaimed not for productivity, but for joy? Let's build a comment section that sounds like softness returning. And when you're ready to take the next step, download your Empowerment Sophistication Map, your emotional clarity system. Join the 5-day Emotional Reset Challenge, a peaceful return to your self-awareness. Read Brains and Baubles. Do What Works for You, the book that honors the version of you who needs both structure and softness. Joy is not a reward for suffering. It's your inheritance. Until next time, guard your peace and stay soft on purpose.